All right, 10U boys. Hey, we're going to talk a lot about it. Y'all's game, how impressed I was with you guys. Um, so let's just jump right into it. We're going to talk about your defense first. But before we start, Luke, if you're going to win tips, you did this in overtime as well. Your legs are very stiff and you're jumping too late. So the reason it's tough for you to win a lot of jump balls is because now your leg is bending, his are already bent. He's cleaned before you, and that's why he can win. But at the end of it, this is what I like. We want to influence the ball to the left, and we're just going to watch how effective that is. As regards for make sure he can't get beat to his right. So we bait the ball behind the backboard. Sam, you got to do a better job of just making sure you wall up. You shouldn't have to jump. Stronger players will pump fake, get into your body, and get you in foul trouble. This is a game you fouled out in, so you need to wall him up behind the backboard if he's there. But nonetheless, y'all get a great rebound. And again, let's go to the next. All right, so this one again, Tally's really good up here on this and making sure that this guy can't go right. So he forces it left. So Ezra doing really well himself. So now they just keep throwing it where we baited them to. And then when we get into that corner, it's a trap. And Hunter, I'm gonna need you to be more aggressive on your trap. But nonetheless, we get one, and then we get a steal immediately. Great job. All right, I especially like this one. It's a little different. This is a good little player, right? A good little ball player. He's calling for a screen so he can get to his right hand. Watch what Tally does. Even though there's a screen, he takes an angle that makes sure he can cut the guy off and make him get back to his left like we want him. Great job there, Tally. And when he tries to come back right, we're there for it. You got to get on that floor sooner, Ezra, so we can get that ball. All right, and then we have, I'm going to mess it up, Malachi or Asher coming up. Now he's forcing left. Probably needs to be a little bit higher, but I'm okay because Ezra's sitting right in the middle to make sure that he doesn't drive down the middle, but passes number 13. So, and on the flight of the ball, you see Ezra already moving. This is picture perfect right here. Now Ezra is making sure that the guy can't go back right. All right. Make sure we stay with this guy and don't let him get cut and get a basket, cut to the basket. So now we're forcing him to his left. And remember, one of the reasons we force him right is because when he shoots, he still has to shoot in front of us. All right. And then we have another defender here. If they were to throw it, we would get a trap right here. So again, that's just too tough of a shot to make. That's why it doesn't hit rim at all. Again, perfectly executed. All right, so showing Tally because he's at the top. Kelly put him up there for a reason because he's probably the top guy at keeping the ball to the left. But what if we face a team that has a tall point guard? Then they could throw it over Tally's head really easily, just like this. All right. So not that this point guard's too tall for him, but what I'm saying is we want to have the type of defense where everybody knows how to play defense like this. So if the situation calls for us to put a taller player up top, we could still get the same results as and keep the ball to the left easy. And then maybe we put Tally as the run through guy to run through this first pass. Now here's the thing: his shoulders to throw it to the right have to turn. And don't worry if you're the bottom guy. Don't worry about creeping up a little bit to deter this pass from happening, because it's really tough with the ball pressure where we're starting the ball pressure at for this guy to throw it from here all the way to the block without our middle man, that's Sam right now, still in it. Now we do let him throw it right, and look, here's the issue. Sam ends up running up to stop this wing pass. That's how we know whoever our bottom guy is too low. All right, that is Luke. So Luke should be higher up. So now we're playing against the closeout. So now they drive, get a paint touch. We're in a scramble. Part of this is because they're going right. And this is their first 3 points of the game. I think y'all start off the game 12-3. That was the three. And main reason is I think is because we let the ball get to the right. So Luke, come up so you can steal that pass, or maybe we need a taller player to make sure we deter that pass from happening. But that's part of the issue that's happening here. All right, so here's another situation where we let the ball get right. So we force it to the left, which is perfect. But remember how Ezra was really high and made sure that they had to go left? All right, so now he goes right downhill. And all players at this age are better in their dominant hand. So now he's causing problems in the lane. Sam, who ended up fouling out, gets his first foul. So we don't want to give up fouls because we're letting guys get to their dominant hand and causing us issues. So make sure we keep it to the left. All right, so now we're going to talk about the guy that's on the left. He's out of picture, how we want him to roll up and steal. If that guy comes up just a little bit more, See, it's obvious when he's throwing right because of how Tally's guarding. He has to throw it over Tally. All right, but whoever's up there needs to be ready to get this steal right here. All right, so kind of creep up just a little bit. And I'm not saying you're going to stop the pass every time, but we want to deter that pass from going to the right based off how we're standing because this block right here isn't really an option for a kid standing up here to throw to. So let's be a bit more aggressive until they prove that they can make this play. All right, so here we got the ball on the left side of the forward just like we baited it. And now look at Luke. As soon as this pass is thrown to the right, because it's obvious that he's got to throw it over people, Luke runs through that pass and he's able to get downhill and go score a layup. And those are, so if we get in position and we're that aggressive, those are the types of shots Stan on that side will create. So good job there, Luke. All right, very similar play. Again, we got him throwing it to his right, and Luke is running through the pass. Now, keep in mind, Luke is getting this steal because he's coming from the block, and this is poor spacing. So I love that he's aggressive and runs through the pass. But I need you to get off the block, and you probably should be standing about where my cursor is right now when the guys are at the 3-point line. So you need to separate. 2-3 doesn't mean you stand on the elbows and the blocks in middle. Uh, I think you guys are getting to the level where you don't have to play it like that, and you could play a lot more aggressive and get in the passing lanes. But nonetheless, he gets his hands on it and gets yet another steal by being aggressive. But again, just know that steal was because we were on the block and their team had poor spacing. We need to get the steals when they're on the 3-point line as well. All right, now this one's perfect. I'm gonna ask Tally at practice if he did this on purpose. So Tally guarded this guy, and so the guy taking it out was like, "Look, he's wide open," and that was a good way to make them throw it further left. Don't let him inbound it to this guy. Let him inbound it to the guy that's further to his left. So as soon as Tally makes them make the pass over there, then he goes over here and he's denying the guy going right, and because of that, Hunter, and this is good. I love conversation. What was that, Sam? I think if it's middle. Okay. So because they again, it's poor spacing that we get this steal, but I need Hunter to be a little bit higher, but he still gets steal. Now, this is where the skill set comes in. Hunter learn to throw it with both hands and dribble with both hands. If you could throw it to Tally right now over everybody's head, he'd get a layup. But right now, that's not where you are. You got to transfer it to your right hand to throw it. So now they had time to catch up to us. So just kind of understand like the small, little, simple skills. Well, seemingly simple, the small skills you need to grow at in order for us to score easier baskets. All right, I want y'all to see something. They scored very, very few points against y'all's half court defense. So 2-3 Wise Kelly has taught y'all great how to play defense. So that's really good. Once we get away from the starters, some of the rules start to get broken up. So that's why we're showing this video so everybody have a visual on how they need to start guard and what they need to work on. If you're coming off the bench, these are your, these are defensive principles you need to adhere to. But this is what's happening. They dribble, and every time they went this way, so now Tally's guarding, making them go to beat him to the spot, making him go left. And when he goes left, if y'all notice, he doesn't attack left. He dribbles with his left, but he doesn't attack with the left. All right, so he throws the ball. We need to be ready to try to jump and get a steal. But look what happens when he goes right. Attack. All right, he's a very different player. And although he misses, that's still too high percentage shot. We can't live all game with him attacking us the way he did right versus left. He keeps picking up his dribble. So just kind of recognize the two differences. That was a perfect example of going left. He was very passive, but going right, their point guard was super aggressive. All right, here's a small one to look at here. So we do a good job. We got him going the direction we want, which is left in our 2-3. Ezra's there. Actually, Ezra gets a hand on it. So this is what I'd like, though. As this starts happening, Sam needs to rotate to the block. I think this is Hunter who comes out. And then whoever's over here, Malachi, needs to step in front of this guy. All right, because every pass way over here is too far to throw. If there's a guy over here, he can't throw it to him because we're on his right shoulder. So I don't even want him catching the ball. I want Sam there so Sam can get a steal. And if he even thought about throwing it to this guy, Malachi should be in front of him. So moving forward, just know that's how the rotation goes. And if he doesn't pass it to anybody, Ezra and Hunter are trapping just like we saw earlier in the video. So we don't even want him catching this this play even though they don't score. All right. So good job there. And I love the way y'all crowd the court as soon as a guy picks up his dribble. All right, here's another thing I want y'all to be aware of. Now, again, if you notice, they're playing 80% of the game on the left side of the floor. Maybe more, or maybe 90. But if you all just played neutral defense, they would play 80 or 90% on the right side of the floor. And now you're dealing with a totally different team. So this is good that we're making them play the game and play on the side we want them to play on. All right, but Luke, you play 2-3 from the block. So you have to train your brain to stop doing that because this should not be one pass and a shot. See, he's open because you're on the block. Don't worry about protecting that. You should be out here so you could be ready to take away that pass. He should not be able to shoot that. All right. And so now they have a guy inside of us because you weren't able to take that away. And they get offensive rebounds and things like that. So we don't want that happening. So make sure you get off the blocks when you're on defense and be ready to get the next pass or steal. All right, here's two things that kind of went wrong here. All right, we want to read the game a little better. So they throw it in, and Luke, you can see Sam is coming from this side. So to finish your trap, you need to hold on this side. So look, you kind of move over and step in front of Sam. Sam's already covering that direction. So what you should do is you should be right here this way, and then he would be trapped. So he's able to dribble out of the trap because you opened the door for him. So you got to use your teammates to help you. This is good help. Tally's coming over, so he has to pick up his dribble. Now, Sam, this is where you need to grow. Play defense with your feet. All right, you kind of wall up, or I mean, not wall up. You just reach, and when you reaching, when your arms are moving, your feet aren't. So now he just runs right by you, and that's too high percentage of a shot. You need to have this rule. If he scores over my head, I'm fine with that. If he scores around me, I'm not fine with that. So when he gets the ball here, you need to step in front of him and move your feet and make him score over you and don't just go for that reach. All right. Too high percentage. All right. So at this point in the game, I mean, it's fourth quarter with 2 minutes left, and they still haven't figured out what we're doing to them. And they've just accepted that so now they're just naturally going to the left side of the floor. Again, the way they got these points was because there was turnovers, and then we didn't get to get our defense set. They scored, I think, 6 points against y'all set defense, maybe 8, but that's it. All right, so this is what we got to learn. The ball went there. We have two guys on the ball. You need to trap him. All of a sudden, I think this is Malachi. He just steps away from the trap. Now the guy's able to pass it because you're gone. There's nothing to cover there. Never leave a trap. So stay on top of them because now, again, this shot is to me is too high percentage. All right. I don't like how even though he misses, that's kind of fool's gold. So we got to make sure we never leave a trap. All right. So this is one of the reasons I want to take baseline out of bounds super serious. We need to always know where ball and man is. So number one is we need to protect this block, the middle, and that block. All right. At 10U level, shooting isn't great enough for us to be spread out guarding jump shots just as well we guard the layups. So right now, um, as this ball's about to come in, Sam is not ready to play defense or slide, so he's only looking at the ball. He can't see where guys are cutting from. So by the time he figures it out, now Hunter, you should see that this guy is cutting, so you should step up and help as well. All right. And because of that, they get an and one and a layup. So again, this isn't us playing our set defense. So what we need to do is make sure we get in and we're gonna rep at our baseline out of bounds defense a lot more. All right, so the takeaways from this video and what you should write down in your reflection journal and ask Coach Kelly, how do you do these things better? You should learn your defensive rotations from multiple positions. So you're a Swiss Army knife. Hey, coach, you need me at the bottom, you need me in the middle, you need me at the top. And so learn the rotations. So when we do get traps, you're not the guy who lets a man loose so they can get out of the trap, or you're the person who could run through the steal. The next thing is baseline out of bounds defense. That is super important that you learn that because we just see as of right here, we gave up an and one because we didn't guard it quite right. So we need to make sure we're asking questions about that. And finally, we need to make sure that we can force the ball to the left, to the weak side. All right. Once we get more players doing that really well, you guys become a defensive a defensive juggernaut where teams are only scoring like 8, 9, maybe 10 points a game on you because your defense is so good. So let's lock in and do that. You'll get another video here in a little bit, and that will be on offense. All right. Super impressed with you guys.